left of energy, and we didn't tap the Hydra Cannon. So move coming in, and it's a wild charge, and we barely hang on by a sliver getting to this Hydra Cannon here, and their defense is lower. This is gonna KO for sure. GG's to my opponent, surviving with 5 HP, actually insane. And it's a Houndour in the back, and we got a Swampert building up to an Earthquake, and that is a GG. Very insane spice picks coming from this guy.
You guys
see the title of today's video, Triple Kanto Team in the Open Ultra Great League. So all 3 leagues are back, and I decided to run a Kanto team, all Kanto team, and the Ultra League. And this team will be consisting of Charizard, Muck, and Swampert, but Muck is in a lonely form. So this Charizard will be running Dragon Breath, Blast Burn, Double Legacy. You will need at least a Fast TM or Elite Charge TM. And then I got Muck over here with Snarl, Sludge Wave, and Dark Pulse, Swampert with Mud Shot, Hydro Cannon, Community Day Move, and Earthquake. I am not running Sludge Wave because we have pretty good coverage against grass types. So if you go on and enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Really helps out the channel grow. I'm continuing to make more, better quality content. Sorry about the mic. I currently do not have a computer at the time to be using a regular mic, so I'm using a phone mic. So yeah, enjoy the video. Straight into it. So we pick up a bad lead, we swap it in a Mug, and now we're met with a Machamp. So this is not looking too good for us, pretty much getting hard countered here. So let's see how this plays out. So Cross Chop does come through here, and it does a decent amount of damage. I'm building up to max energy, and this Sludge Wave will be doing big damage. So let's see how much this does. Ooh, big damage with the Sludge Wave, and then unfortunately not able to make it to Dark Pulse there. Will I shield? No. Just go ahead and let this go. Probably commit to the farm with whatever comes in next, and I will be throwing in my Charizard there. And fortunate for us, they do not get to a Rock Slide. So Magnezone coming back in. My switch timer was not up, so I'm going to go ahead and throw this Dragon Claw here, and it does not get a shield from my opponent. So I threw a few more Dragon Breaths and able to catch this move. So let's go see what I caught here. And it's just a mirror shot, still resisted, better than it being on my Charizard. So Gengar in the back, there is still some hope left. These Shadow Claws are doing a decent amount of damage. Hydro Cannon coming through, will be getting the first shield from the opponent. And Mud Shots are super effective. Yeah, but look how much some Shadow Claws already did. About half health, they're just actually insane. So we did shield up that Shadow Punch there. And then, will I shield this again? Most likely, yeah. So we do go ahead and shield both the Shadow Punches, and able to make it to 2 Hydro Cannons here. 1 Hydro Cannon coming through, and it does get the last shot from the opponent. And switching into Charizard, noticing that they are still locked in here. Shadow Punch coming through, most likely, let's see. Yeah, just a Shadow Punch, didn't have enough energy. And then getting as low as possible so that the Magnezone comes in and gets us less farm as possible. Dragon Claw does take out the Gengar, and then get 1 spark left of energy. And we didn't tap the Hydra Cannon. So move coming in, and it's a wild charge, and we barely hang on by a sliver getting to this Hydra Cannon here, and their defense is lower. This is gonna KO for sure. GG's to my opponent, surviving with 5 HP, actually insane. GG's to my opponent there, very well played. So hopping into the next one here, we got Pokemaster Sam XY. Show me what you got, buddy. So we get Charizard into Swampert, not a good lead, so we switch immediately to our own Swampert, which is our only good answer, and we're met by a Tangrowth. So let's see how this plays out. We are getting pretty hard countered, so let's see if we can come back from this one like we did the last one. So another Hydro Cannon coming through. Let's see how much this does, and it does a decent amount of damage. So let's see if we make it to a third one, and just barely able to make it to a third one. Let's see if this gets a shield from our opponent. And it does not get a shield from the opponent. So it looks like they committed to the hard farm there. Probably coming in with a Muck here, since Rock Slide will be super effective against Charizard. Even though Power Up still resisting on Charizard, still gotta respect the Rock Slide. So Rock Slide does come through. Doesn't do too much damage, does not get stabbed. And Tangrowth is kind of bulky, so it's not really that attack weighted Pokemon. Yeah, 2 Rock Slides do a decent amount of damage. And now they swap into a Gallade. And I switch into my Gallade, noticing that I have a bad matchup against Swampert here. And I do decide to let this go, hoping it's a Leaf Blade, but it is a close combat. Yeah, and that's definitely a GG's right there. So able to get this Dragon Claw. Let's see if they shield or not. and they do not decide to shield. Swampert is coming definitely back in here. Let's see. Yeah, Swampert coming back in. And to be completely honest, I probably should have shielded this because I didn't even notice the Muck's health. And yeah, Mudshots are doing a lot here. Yeah, this is definitely a GG's, but we're going to put up the good fight here. So throwing this Dark Pulse here. Yeah, doing a respectable amount of damage. And they actually decided to let that first one go through. Well, imagine a Sludge Wave BM. Be really funny. So building up and then barely making it to this Dark Pulse here because I have some pretty decent IVs on this Muck. Yeah, this is definitely a good game. At least they didn't get 2 shield flags. But let's reverse 2 shield flags. Well, GG to the opponent. Hopping into the next one here. We got Charizard into Togekiss. So even with Dragon Breath, this still is a pretty decent lead for us because the charms are resisted. Even though our Dragon Breath is still resisted, it kind of digs in a little bit, and we're able to get these Blast Burns somewhat decently here. We should be able to win the one shield still. Yeah. So not able to make it to Blast Burn. I will be shielding this. Let's see what my opponent decides to throw here. And it's just an Aerial Ace. That probably would have took out my Charizard. And then able to make it to this Blast Burn here. So let's see if my opponent decides to shield this or not. Blast Burn comes through and looks like they decide to double shield the Charmer. Now my Charizard goes down. Let's see what I decide to bring back in. And I bring in a Muck. So I'm farming up a little bit of energy. Get a Snarl through, which is very good for us. So it's coming through, and it's an Ancient Power, and they do not get the boost. So I'm farming up a little extra before I throw this Dark Pulse, because they are low enough. And they swap into a Giratina. This Giratina is about to catch the Lonely Muck hands. One Dark Pulse coming through, one more Snarl, another Dark Pulse coming through, and this is a Shadow Claw variant as well. One Dark Pulse, and still not. Giratina is just insane bulk. And they bring in the Togekiss, not able to make it to Dark Pulse in time. Let's see what's coming through. And it's an Ancient Power, so we're able to survive in getting off this Dark Pulse here. What do they have in the back? And it's a Houndour in the back, and we got a Swampert building up to an Earthquake, and that is a GG. Very insane spice picks coming from this guy. Very well played. Hopping into the next one here. We got BAO times Woe. Alright, so another battle lead. Swampert into Charizard. So we swap into our own Swampert because that's really our only and best response to a Swampert. Looks like they're actually deciding to stay in, so let's see if I shield this and let it go. And it's an Earthquake. Actually insane. So building up to almost 2.5 Hydro Cannons here. So throwing this first one. Let's see if it gets to shield an opponent. And it does. Probably thought we were going to throw Earthquake back, to be honest. So we'll be showing this up, and it's a Muddy Water. This guy's actually running Muddy Water and Earthquake. What a mad lad. So getting off this next Hydro Cannon, and they do decide to double shield. Probably thought it was another Earthquake. So throwing this next Hydro Cannon here, this won't KO, but we'll be getting the Swampert very low. And let's see if I shield. So I will be going to a 2 shield because Swampert is just a big threat for our team. So able to make it to this extra Hydro Cannon, not over farming, not taking any chances here. Hydro Cannon coming through, and it does KO. So what's coming in, and it is a Tangrowth with Infestation, and we're actually able to make it to another Hydro Cannon. Wow. So it's resisted, but damage is still damage. Chip damage is still chip damage. So coming in with the Muck because the Rock Slide is real, and we're out of shields. So it's and they throw a Power Whip. What a mad lad. Infestation Power Whip. Looks like he doesn't have Rock Slide. Still throwing the Power Whip. And that actually, I think, does more than 2 Rock Slides. It's actually insane. Undercharge this a little bit, but still enough to KO. And what's in the back? We got a Shadow Charizard. Able to make it to Sludge Wave, but we throw the Dark Pulse for some reason. Actually insane. And we switch into a Charizard here and able to farm down. And that's going to be a good game to our opponent. Amazing Spice. Shout out to you. What a mad lad. Hopping into the next one here, KK9205. Let's see what you got, buddy. Charizard into Togekiss. So again, not such a bad lead, even with Dragon Breath. Can still win the one shield. And it looks like they try to catch a Blast Burn, but that was a little bit too early for a Blast Burn. Alright, so too quick to be an Earthquake this time. Yeah, that Earthquake that land was actually insane. Almost took out my Swampert. Alright, so we'll be shielding up this next Hydro Cannon here and building up a lot of energy. So let's see what my opponent decides to do here. Could be an Earthquake, and it looks like I lagged a little bit. And of course, they do not shield. So getting off this next Hydro Cannon here, I'll probably getting a shield from my opponent most likely. Yeah, I guess a shield from my opponent. And not able to win the CNB tie, unfortunate. As you see, we have 4 attack. But not able to live the Hydro Cannon either. Alright, so we don't win swap, but see where we come in here. So come with the Charizard, committing to the hard farm, but we most likely have the shield. Yeah, so they're able to make it to Hydro Cannon, has to shield this. From 4 health, we were to survive, but we still took a little bit of damage there. So Togekiss coming back in, going for an insanely risky bait here, going for the Dragon Claw. And my opponent calls the bait and going for this Blast Burn here. Do they decide to shield this? Blasting her through, and it does not, and able to farm down the Togekiss before they're able to react. And there's a Giratina in the back. Alolan Muck is about to go ham. This Giratina does not want to catch the Alolan Muck's claws. So this actually is running Dragon Breath, which will be a little bit scary situation in Dragon Claw, whether it having Shadow Claw and barely doing any damage. So Dark Pulse coming through, and it does a decent amount of damage. Still has to get to his next Dark Pulse. Looks like a very kind of tight game, but we still got the Charizard in the back. This should be definitely in the bag, and this should definitely be a GG. So getting to his Dark Pulse, this should be enough to KO. So if you go ahead and went and enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Really appreciate it, helps out the channel. And I'll see you in the next one. That's it for today. Poke Trainer out.